Happy Halloween, boys and girls, and welcome to another edition of Going to Bed with Mike and Steve. I'm Mike.
And I'm Steve.
And we are continuing to read R.L. Stine's Goosebumps, number 42, Egg Monsters from Mars.
Dun, 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 dun.
Alright, well, let's continue with Chapter 6, shall we?
Chapter 6.
16. Chapter 16. There is a 6.
There is a 6. It does include
I wasn't sure that
Chapter
the
1.
number... I wasn't
it has
sure,
a 1 in it.
I wasn't sure that the number that preceded the 6 was all that important, as it was a lesser number than the number that followed it. I thought you automatically just go for the greater number of the 2. That's what I was taught in my math class.
Right.
In a panic, I turned to Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre. To my shock, he was grinning. They've trapped us, I stammered. He shook his head. Sometimes they move like that, but don't be scared, Dana. They're harmless. Harmless, I cried.
They can't do anything. There's no way.
Don't worry about it. My voice came out shrill and tiny. But, what can they do? Dr. Dre asked, placing a comforting hand on my trembling shoulder. They're only blobs of egg. They can't bite you, can they? They don't appear to have mouths. They can't grab you or punch you or kick you. They have no hands or legs. Yeah, alright, let's, what about jellyfish?
Jellyfish are very dangerous. They don't have mouths, really.
Like one of the most dangerous creatures on the planet is that special breed of
Man-o-war. That's the one I
Man-o-war.
was thinking, yeah, it's extremely dangerous.
And those just look... Hey, it just looks like a blob of jelly. Go ahead, touch it. Put it on your genitals.
Have fun.
Why don't you try giving it a little kiss? The egg creatures moved their circle closer. I watched them, my throat still tight, my legs shaking. I knew what Dr. Dre was trying to tell me, was telling me was true. But why were they doing this? Why did they form a circle? Why were they closing in on us? Sometimes they form a triangle, Dr. Dre told me. Sometimes rectangles or squares.
They like shapes.
They really like shapes. Parallelograms, octagons, you got your,
dodecahedrons.
well, that's a three-dimensional geometric shape, which it's very complicated for them to do, but you get them in the right mood, man. They will break out their dodecahedron moves on you. It's as if they're trying out different shapes they've seen. Maybe this is a way that they're trying to communicate with us. Maybe, I agreed softly. I wish the egg creatures would back up. They were little wet blobs, but they were really giving me the creeps. I shivered again. My breath steamed up in front of me. I just want to point something out before I continue. Between pages 60 and 61 of this Goosebumps book, there is this sort of tough paper that clearly something had been ripped out of the book. I wish I didn't do it. Like now, retrospectively.
Well, back then I was like, yeah!
Right, it came with Goosebumps trading cards.
Oh.
As evidenced by
Are those
the
lost
cover.
in time?
Yeah, I doubt I still have those.
Yeah.
Maybe. I would have to dig through some shit, but I am sure those are long gone. I shivered again, my breath steamed up in front of me. It was so cold my glasses started to fog. I stared down at the egg creature I had brought. It had joined the circle. It bobbed and bounced with all the others. Dr. Dre turned and started to the door. I turned with him. I wanted to get out of that freezer as fast as I could. Hey, thank you for bringing that one in, Dr. Dre said. He shook his head. I thought I had collected them all. What a surprise that I missed one.
Gotta
all right,
collect them all.
So, eggs rained down upon this town, and he thought, you know, he went around, he collected what, like 6 or 7 of them, and he thought that must be it. I mean,
good.
Just any town is what, probably 10 by 10 miles. Like towns can be pretty big. We have to assume it's a medium to a larger sized town. There are wooded areas, there are creeks. I just don't know why he's surprised that he missed one. Even though they're the size of ostrich
how thorough
eggs.
was his search?
I mean, honestly, just think about like where I used to live, or even where you live now. Like, there's tons of woods, or it falls into the creek, it rolls down the river, who knows where it goes.
In a bush, you won't be able to see it.
No.
Especially in private property. And that's where that was. There could be more on people's properties.
Everywhere, yeah. He's just like, I'm surprised that there was more than 3. I mean, it was a huge media
I found
shower.
one, and I thought, good enough.
Yeah, good enough. That's about all that there must be. I thought I'd collected them all. What a surprise that I missed one. He scratched his hair. You say that you found it in your backyard? I nodded. It was an egg, but then it hatched in my dresser drawer. My teeth chattered. I was so cold. Does that mean it's mine? I asked Dr. Dre. I mean, does it belong to me? His smile faded. I'm not really sure. I don't know what the law is about alien creatures from outer space, he frowned. Maybe there is no law. Dr. Dre pulled a gun and held it up to my forehead. And where there is no laws, there is only reward to gain. I fell to the ground, my body a bloody, twisted heap. Dr. Dre picked up all of the egg monsters and scooted on out of there, off to Nevada, where he was gonna open his own egg monster brothel.
The end.
Bum, 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 bum. I glanced down at the little blob. The green veins along its sides were bulging. Its whole body was throbbing like crazy. Was it sorry to see me go? No way, that's really dumb, I told myself.
Stupid.
I guess you'll want to keep it for a while and study it. Excuse me. I guess you want to keep it for a while and study it, I said to Dr. Dre. He nodded. Yes, I'm doing every kind of test I can think of. But can I come back and visit it, I asked? Dr. Dre narrowed his eyes at me. Come back? Dana, what do you mean by come back?
What do you think I mean, Dr. Dre? What? Let's analyze. What could I mean?
Like
by coming back?
When I leave, returning? Generally,
what do you mean?
The colloquialism for coming back? You're not leaving.
Oh,
that's a classic R.L. Stine cliffhanger. But we've got time for chapter 17, Steve, so let's launch right into it! And I haven't read it yet, but it's probably something stupid like, the first line is, excuse me, I choked out, to which Dr. Dre will probably respond, just kidding, go have fun, come back anytime. Excuse me, I choked out? I knew I hadn't heard him correctly. My whole body shook in a wild shiver. I rubbed my bare arms, trying to warm them. Did you say I'm not leaving? I managed to ask. Dr. Dre locked his pale blue eyes on mine. I'm afraid you can't leave, Dana. You must stay here. A frightened cry escaped my throat. He wasn't serious. He couldn't be serious. He can't keep me here, I told myself. No way. He can't keep me here against my will. That's against the law.
There is no law.
There is no law where egg monsters from Mars are applied, Dana. Kidnapping? Totally okay. Extortion? Even more okay.
I'm free to do whatever I wish, wherever I wish to do it, as long as I have an egg monster.
And I have several egg monsters. But why? I demanded weakly. Why can't I go home? You can understand, can't you? Dr. Dre replied calmly. We don't want anyone to know about these space aliens. We don't want anyone to know that we've been invaded by Martians. Every other Goosebumps book, and anytime some kid experiences something weird, everybody's going, they'll never believe you. Now, this guy's concerned that a 12-year-old going around going, an egg monster from Mars! And people are going to go,
everybody's going to,
you know, they're going to have a big town meeting, they're going to march down to the lab. No, they're going to go, no, that's
weird.
That's not what they researched there in that lab, you know. He sighed. You don't want to throw the whole world into a panic, do you, Dana? The word of a 12-year-old about egg monsters from Mars is going to throw the entire world into a panic. I'm not so sure that Dr. Dre is the scientist that he's claiming he is, because if he was an adult with a fully functioning web of logic, he would probably know that his secret's pretty safe with Dana.
Are we delving into, like, Area 51?
Area 50 is big, this goes all the way to the top. I tried to answer, but I was too frightened, too startled, too cold. I glared angrily at Dr. Dre. You have to let me go, I insisted. I'm a in a trembling whisper. I thought it said, you have to let me go, I insisted. I'm a trembling whisper.
I'm a trembling whisper.
I'm a trembling whisper. No one will be able to hear me. It'll be like, my mom will be like, what? What'd you say, Dana? Speak up. And I'll be like, well, okay, Dana, whatever you say.
Whenever you hear a whisper in the woods, that's it.
His expression softened. Please don't stare at me like that, he said. I'm not a bad guy. I don't want to frighten you, and I don't want to keep you in the lab against your will. But what choice do I have? I'm a scientist, Dana. I have to do my job. I stared back at him. Kidnapping, it's right. It's part of my MO. Look, you look at my job description. When I came in here for my job interview, they sat me down. They said, okay, I just got a couple of questions for you. One, do you have a master's degree in some sort of a science or a doctorate in some sort of a science? Yes, I do. Okay, that's
right,
fine.
check.
What sort of science would that be? Well, it's this kind of science, sir. Okay.
Check.
And would you be comfortable kidnapping children and holding them against their will in this science lab should a situation arise in which egg monsters from Mars did come down and you needed to keep them inside and you didn't want the word of a 12-year-old to send the entire world into a panic?
Hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically speaking.
Why, I suppose I will say.
I took an oath, Dana. I took an oath.
Screw the ethics.
This is the only ethical thing to do, Dana. I stared back at him, my whole body shaking. I didn't know what to say. My eyes moved to the metal door. It was shut, but he hadn't bolted it. I wondered if I could get to the door before he did. I have to study you too, Dr. Dre continued. He tucked his hands into the pockets of his lab coat. It's my job, Dana. Study me, I squeaked. Why? He motioned to my egg creature. You touched it, didn't you? You handled it. You picked it up. I shrugged. Well, yeah, I picked it up. So what? Well, we don't know what kind of dangerous germs it gave you, he replied. We don't know what kind of germs or bacteria or strange diseases these things carried with them from Mars.
So you've had 6 of them with you, and you have no idea. But you haven't used any sort of tools to try to distinguish what kind of...
Wasn't Dr. Dre the one who was just saying that they're not dangerous?
It seems like it.
I thought... Hold on. Okay, I know that this is going to take a second. Sing a song while I'm trying to find it.
Oh, the egg monsters from Mars.
They came from high above the stars.
Down to Earth. Don't you know?
Sometimes they move like that, but don't be scared, Dana. They're harmless, except for perhaps the myriad of diseases they've carried with them from Mars. Like, why would he walk in there without wearing some sort of, like, hazmat suit?
Yeah.
He goes, nah, they're surrounding us, but that's fine, except for the possible diseases that they carried with them.
But we know that diseases can't be airborne. We know that for a fact.
There's no such thing as airborne diseases or diseases that can spread in a room that is below 60-degree room temperature. My teeth chattered. Oh, no, excuse me. I swallowed hard. Huh? Diseases? He scratched his mustache. I don't want to scare you. You're probably perfectly okay. You feel okay, right? My teeth chattered. Yeah, I guess. It's just cold. Well, I have to keep you here and study you, you know?
Cold. That's a terrible symptom.
Yeah, being cold is a symptom of the worst of Martian gonorrhea. Well, I have to keep you here and study you. You know, watch you carefully. Make sure that touching the egg creatures didn't harm you or change you. No way, I thought. I don't care about strange germs from Mars. I don't care about egg diseases. I don't care about science. All I care about is getting out of here, getting home to my family. You're not keeping me here, Dr. Dre. You're not studying me, because I'm out of here, straight out of Compton. Dr. Dre, Dr. Dre, NWA, bitches. Dr. Dre was studying something. I guess he was still explaining why he planned to keep me prisoner in this freezing cold lab, but I didn't listen to him. Instead, I took off. I ran towards the big metal door. The circle of egg creatures blocked my way, but I leaped over them easily and kept running.
It was no problem at all, really. Actually, it wasn't dangerous.
I one time jumped a 1-foot hurdle in gym class, and this was more like a 4-inch hurdle, so
I had
no problem. It's like jumping over a barricade of dog shit. Gasping for breath, shivering, I reached the door. I grabbed the handle and glanced back. Was Dr. Dre chasing after me?
No. Was he? Oh no, I ran really fast. I heard breathing. It was my breathing. I looked behind me. Oh, he wasn't there.
No, he hadn't moved. Good, I thought. I caught him by surprise. I'm gone. I turned the door handle, pulled hard. The door didn't open. I pulled harder. It didn't budge. I tried pushing it. No go.
Ooh.
Dr. Dre's voice rang in my ears. The door is controlled electronically, he said calmly. It's locked. It cannot be opened unless you have the control unit.
Ooh.
I didn't believe him. I tugged again. Then I pushed again. He was telling the truth. The door was electronically sealed. I gave up with a loud cry of protest. I spun around to face him. How long do I have to stay here? I demanded. He replied in a low, icy voice. Probably for a very long time.
And nobody's gonna be concerned or looking for you, even though you told your friend where you're going? Nobody's gonna know.
Yeah, remember, he did tell her. It's like, I am going to the science lab. When I do not return and my parents don't know where I am, you of course won't tell her.
Just move on, I guess.
Fabulous. All right, well, that's all we have time for tonight.
Picking up.
Good night.
Good night.